How can you tell if something has enough to hold up as a novel? Is the plot enough to carry the reader through the novel? Yeah. How do you know if the premise is strong enough, I guess?
Yeah, that's an interesting question that I think the key to that is unfortunately, the key to that sometimes is trying to make sure you have a beat sheet and stuff like that. So you have to go through all the steps. Um, but honestly, if there's just not enough, I think usually what you'll find is you take a weird left turn or something. You're either stretching, like
Mhm.
that's what happens a lot of times. Like a lot of times it's about obstacles, like your obstacle isn't big enough, or the
Mhm.
stakes aren't big enough, or the goal is too easily achieved, or something like that. Like a lot of times, and then you start stretching, like you start putting other stuff in it just to kind of stretch it out to a thing. And if you find yourself doing that, it's probably not enough right now. Um, but maybe if you had a bigger obstacle, obstacle is a key thing to look at when you don't feel your story's enough. Like honestly, that's probably 70% of the time it's like, oh, and sometimes it's because the story can't have an obstacle. But the other times, sometimes I see people just punt their premise like in the middle of it. Like they're halfway through, it's Jurassic Park, and then they escape Jurassic Park at page 50, and they're back home, and it's a completely different movie without dinosaurs for 50. I mean,
Um,
that's a wild example, but I see that from new writers a lot when they kind of splice two things together,
I see.
and not in a cool, like, this will really trick them sort of way. It's just kind of like they splice two things.
Yeah, like they ran out of ideas and so they went to
Right.
another story or something.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. And I love what you said about the obstacle. Like one thing I find when I'll read manuscripts that feel like they weren't enough of a premise, it's because, and this matches what you said, it's because there's not enough external stuff happening to trigger internal things. So I'll see like a lot of writers, maybe it's one way, it might be one or the other, but I'll see writers trying to get internal realizations or internal struggles happening, but nothing is triggering them organically. Like it's just the characters are doing a lot of sitting around thinking about themselves or thinking about what's happening to them or thinking about how this is really hard, but we're not seeing why. We're not seeing the external, those obstacles that are triggering those things. Or the other way around, where you've got all external story and it's not affecting anyone. And that also can be a problem of not being enough because there's only so much you can do with external plot devices. Without it actually having an internal effect on someone, it can quickly get stale. So that, yeah, and I agree too, but writing a beat sheet really helps. Just like one of Jamie's 45-minute ones is a great idea. Like, can you roughly get 10 of the 15 beats down, even if you don't keep them? That's a great indicator that you have enough, or at least a starting point. If you enjoyed this video, we've got a lot more on writingmastery.com. Check the description for links to our blog, free writing tools, and more. Happy writing.